The Alien Blaster is arguably one of the best weapons in Fallout New Vegas, but when you factor in its limited ammo, you realize it won't last forever, which makes you wonder, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only the Alien Blaster? The rules for this run are simple. The Alien Blaster is the only weapon we are allowed to use. Any type of environmental damage from other NPCs or traps is fair game, with the exception of companions. It would be too easy to let them do all the work, so we're just banning them outright. And to add some challenge, we are going to be playing on hardcore, very hard difficulty. For the Fallout newbies that are usually here for my Borderlands challenges, hardcore mode adds hunger, thirst, and sleep meters and makes healing broken limbs a bit harder, and the very hard setting makes it so I take double damage and only deal out half damage. Since a big part of this challenge is trying to conserve the finite ammo we get with the Alien Blaster, I figured letting the game aim my shots for me using VATS would be kinda weird, so I disallowed that too. Alright, with the rules out of the way, let's get into the run. Our journey starts as a handsome man leaves us for dead in a desolate wasteland, which felt oddly familiar, but to our luck, Doc Mitchell managed to save us. As we wake up, we can't help but feel anger and hatred towards the human race. I came in peace, and they brought violence, so they needed to be punished. The Doc will have my mercy, since he went out of his way to save my life, and made me the most handsome alien in the universe on top of it. A new me means a new name, so I chose the most appropriate one for the alien who will destroy the human race. I set up my stats like this. I don't need strength for anything. I made up a rule that I couldn't use speech to cheese my way through this challenge, and the Alien Blaster has a 100% critical hit chance, so luck wasn't that useful. For my tag skills, I chose medicine for the damage I'll be taking on very hard, energy weapons for obvious reasons, and science because I'm an alien. And for my starter traits, I chose trigger discipline to help with landing shots and conserving ammo, and Wild Wasteland because the Alien Blaster does not spawn without it. On our way out, we grabbed everything of use from the dock and sold everything not of use to Chet. We also stopped by the schoolhouse to grab some extra food and a stealth boy before plugging in the coordinates to the nearest alien ship, which was pretty much on the opposite side of the map. So while we try to sneak past these deathclaws, I'll tell you guys about our partner, Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming has been my go-to place for video game deals. Thanks to them, I got Fallout New Vegas for under $3. That's $7 I saved to buy myself a monster and get me through this challenge. And Instant Gaming has deals on all sorts of games, and their deals are hard to beat. No more full price games, no more waiting for deals, and no more games dying in your wish list. Are you a console player? Not a problem, because they've got you covered no matter if you're on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, or even Nintendo Switch. My favorite part about Instant Gaming is the whole instant part. Once your account is verified, getting a new game can literally take less than a minute. You get your code, plug it in, and I bet downloading it will be the longest part of the whole process. So stop waiting, make your gaming instant. How about this? Think of a game you've been wanting to play and use my link to just see what kind of deal they're offering on it. And if you end up liking that deal and making a purchase, just know that on top of saving yourself money, you're also supporting the channel. Anyway, let's get back to the run. Uh-oh, looks like we cut too soon. Skip ahead? Skip ahead! After a few scary creatures and a few close calls, we finally made it to the alien ship. It turns out that the ship belonged to a rival alien faction and they were immediately hostile towards me. I needed the captain dead in order to steal his blaster, and I was determined to not use any of the humans' disgusting combat contraptions, so I had to lure the captain into a trap. Some of the locals nearby were of the extremely violent variety, so they shot at anything they saw, including me.
You can't hide.
Oh! That's a fucking grenade launcher. I just had to make sure they fought each other as I dodged their lasers and grenade launcher rounds. Usually NPC versus NPC combat is pretty quick on other difficulties, but on very hard, the alien captain was an absolute tank that could easily annihilate all the Vipers in its vicinity. I even tried to lure the captain into a landmine that was laying on the ground, and he pretty much ignored it. If I wanted a proper blaster, I was going to have to separate the captain from his henchmen and have him focus his fire on me while the bandits focused their fire on him. I was getting annihilated by lasers, so I attempted to eat some of the human food I found at Doc Mitchell's. These so-called stim packs tasted horrible and were extremely painful to eat, but my survival was more important than my comfort, so I choked it down. But don't even get me started on the super stim packs. Ugh. I eventually got the captain surrounded and was able to watch as the humans turned his gray matter into red matter. We stood nearby hoping he had a lot of ammo to get us through this run. He could drop anywhere from 140 to 250 shots for the blaster, and as long as we get around average, we should be Okay, 165, that's actually terrible. Oh, curse this planet. Well, as long as we don't miss, we should be Anyway, now that we had our blaster, we could finally start hunting down the checkered man who tried to kill us. Before we were shot and left for dead, we were masquerading as a postman, and the human that attacked us was after something we were delivering, so we set off to the Mojave Express in Prim for clues. Discovering the location leveled us up, and I dropped all 15 points into energy weapons and chose the intense training perk to increase my luck, which increases all my other skills slightly. Some heathens took the place over, and their deputy was also taken captive. Usually I wouldn't get into human affairs, but this deputy beagle had some answers. Leave it to the humans to leave a dog in charge. I entered the building where the deputy was being held and started looking for his kennel. I also killed some guards and stole their hats to blend in with the other humans a bit better. I look almost undistinguishable. After lurking in the shadows and dealing with all the savages, I found the deputy, who was in fact not a floppy-eared dog. Humans are murderers and now they're liars too? Despicable. Either way, he would not give me answers unless I let him free, so I did so begrudgingly. He told us that the checkered man was heading to Novak through Nipton, so we made our way in the same direction.
It's like looking in the mirror. Wah, wah, wah. It's like looking in the mirror. Wah, wah, wah.
We made it to Nipton, and we only found one person by the name of Oliver. What sort of lottery did you win?
What lottery? The lottery. That's what lottery. Are you stupid?
There we go. Lottery ticket. It's mine now. I won the lottery. After that useless encounter, I started to head towards Novak. Along the way, I learned what a deathclaw felt like, put my 9 agility to the test, and experienced what I believe the humans call fear. Oh god. Oh. Oh! The trader at Novak offered to sell me a bunch of rocket ships for a really low price. I would have been excited to get off this planet, but the ships he was selling were much too small to fit my size. This human was absolutely delusional, much like the one called Manny Vargas. He tried getting me to go to some far-off place and kill a bunch of irradiated humans in exchange for his info on my target. I told him I would not be doing that and decided to just steal the information from him. Don't get me wrong, I would usually just destroy anyone that got in my way, but under these circumstances, I needed to conserve ammo. If my pickpocket attempt failed and I was caught, I would have made him eat my blaster like a stim pack, but lucky for him, his senses are not up to par. We made our way to the next clue and found a couple factions at a standoff. A military group called the NCR had the cons pinned down, but the cons also had some NCR prisoners. As much as I would have loved to see both groups just take each other out, I needed info. So I talked to the cons and paid the NCR to leave them alone. The cons helped with my assassination attempt, so I badly wanted to end them all here. But I had to think about the long-term goal. So I put their death off for now and got enough experience from this little mission to level up twice. I dropped all 30 points into energy weapons and chose the perk Educated to get more skill points for future level ups. We now knew exactly where this Benny human was, and there was nothing else in our way.
Submit to a credit check or present your passport before proceeding to the gate. Trespassers will be shot.
Apparently a robot army guards New Vegas, and I was quite jealous. Imagine the work I could do with my own robot army. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, we were going to need to find a passport. My instincts told me that I was going to need to find a leader around here, so I went to see the king. He offered me work and I took it in hopes of getting into Vegas. I was ordered to hire a bodyguard and pretend to need his help. It was such a degrading task to act so weak. Even more degrading when I found out that the bodyguard in question was an actor himself, who hired other actors to pretend to be dead to raise his own business up. We were all pretending at that point, and it just made it all the more embarrassing. But the king appreciated my work. After that, I had to investigate some conflict between the locals at Freeside and the NCR. Long story short, the humans didn't communicate well, so they resorted to just murdering each other. Typical. Either way, the king rewarded me for my efforts with a level up and a passport. I used my skill points to max out energy weapons and then threw the rest into science. I also took another rank of the intense training perk to up my luck to 4. We stocked up on supplies before we entered the strip. So far, hunger and thirst haven't been an issue for hardcore, but I'm assuming stim packs are just very nutritious. Speaking of human food, I quite enjoyed this Nuka-Cola stuff. I mean, the shell tastes kinda bad, but this caffeine stuff on the inside made me feel great. Anyway, we finally made it to Benny, and upon entering his base, his henchmen demanded my weapons. You know, I went through a lot to get this gun, and they think I'm just gonna hand it over when I see my target right in front of me? That makes me angry. I could murder everyone in this building right now. I could level this place. Ah, fuck, I think the caffeine is kicking in. Cola for the fun, I guess. Oh god. Good. cool. Oh. Okay. Stop. Good. Oh. Good. Dude, what the f? Did I knock them down? Holy shit. Oh my god. They actually do. Holy shit. Why are they fighting me? Womp. Who's next? Womp. Anyone else? Okay. Note to self. Human food causes anger, mania, and blackouts. Anyway, after all that, I was pretty dehydrated, so I drank a bunch of water from one of the humans' dispensers. I also leveled up 2 more times and threw all the points into science. It will come in handy later, I promise. I also threw another intense training point into luck, bringing me up to 5. After that, I found a robot that wasn't a cringy cowboy or threatening to kill me. And honestly, I like this guy. He pretty much gave me the plans, blueprints, and ideas to take over the strip and build my own robot army. We had to find Mr. House, the head honcho of the New Vegas strip, and overthrow him. I was expecting another lie, much like the Deputy Beagle situation, but to my surprise, this Mr. House guy was kinda the entire building. But for being such a powerful leader, this guy was extremely dumb. He pretty much invites me over to his house, or I guess himself, shows me how to upgrade the robot army, lets me sell him a couple of useless snow globes for 4,000 caps, and left the password to the terminal that leads directly to his safe room so out in the open, I didn't even realize I picked it up. Sure, he's got a bunch of Securitrons guarding the door, but the stealth boy I got from the schoolhouse let me walk right in. The great Mr. House, bested by literal school supplies. Well, I'd say it's about time for a boss fight, eh? Man, what the fuck is this? I got catfished. Man, well, in that case, let's just end this guy with a headshot. Boo-wah. Okay, what about this kind of headshot? Balls. Anyway, after House was dealt with, I maxed out my science skill and plugged Yes Man into House's old system. Yes Man wanted us to go meet all the other factions and decide what we wanted to do with them all. I told him I wanted them all dead, but he really wanted me to go meet them all, so I humored him. Maybe not all humans are so bad. First on the list was the Brotherhood of Steel. I get there and they not only demanded my weapons, but my clothes too?
I want you stripped down to your underwear.
I didn't like that, so I started blasting. And so did they. Yeah, taking these guys on all at once was near impossible, so I decided to hide over behind some crates for cover and let the guy walk over to me to start the conversation. I killed him there and then killed off the 2 other door guards before getting out of there. So yeah, screw those guys. I got out of there and headed to finish off the other 2 aliens I totally forgot about until now. But I guess they realized their captain was weak and I was superior, so they joined my forces instead, meaning I had a ship to get off this planet when all was done. After that, I got lost at a deathclaw construction site while trying to find Red Rock Canyon. I eventually found my way there and found their leader surprisingly easily. I asked them about their ways and they seemed like a clan just trying to defend themselves. But then I remembered these are the guys that left me in that ditch, so I murdered them all. Their leader was a coward anyway. The next faction to meet was the Boomers, and with my experience with human language, that could either mean they really like bombs or they're a bunch of old people. And when some guy bet me a bunch of caps that I couldn't make it to their base while dodging mortar strikes, I think I figured out which one it was. I took his bet, but I never got those caps back. Not because I didn't make it, but because I totally forgot to come back for my winnings afterwards. Anyway, I made it to the Boomers' front gate and gave them the good old "take me to your leader" line. They love that one. Oh, I guess they're old and like explosives. Okay then. Either way, they made the number in the top left corner of the screen go up multiple times, so I killed them too. After dealing with them, we leveled up again, dropping all of our points into medicine and grabbing the quick draw perk because it sounded cool. After that, we had a few factions in New Vegas to deal with, starting with the Omertas.
No one but Omertas are allowed to carry guns into Gomorrah. Check your weapons with me. Stop moving. Good. Okay. Man, I am so sick of these humans demanding my weapons. Let's hope that the white gloves are a little more understanding.
Beg your pardon, but could I trouble you to turn over your weapon?
Jeez, man, I don't know why people just keep demanding things from me. Is that just how humans work? In that case, subscribe to the channel or I'm gonna confiscate your weapons. Anyway, at this point, I realized that I killed all the factions leaders that I've met so far except for the Brotherhood, so I went back down to their bunker and burned through a lot of ammo dealing with these armored troops. I managed to hack into their turret systems and turn them against them so I could sneak by. I had quite a few deaths and resets at this part trying to assassinate Elder McNamara, but with a little bit of stubbornness, we eventually figured it out. Man, I told Yes Man this was gonna be a waste of time. We were down to 33 shots, which sounds like just enough for the final fight at the Hoover Dam. But just to make sure, I decided to take Yes Man's optional mission to upgrade more Securitrons over at House's hidden bunker, which at first sounds like a quick button pushing mission, but it turned out to be quite the opposite. I didn't realize Caesar's Legion was built right on top of this bunker. I played this game a few times before, but I got so into the side missions that I never really did this part. Is anyone else like that with side missions? Comment below if you do the same. Anyway, I snuck into their camp and rode the boat to the bunker, and I was immediately given the default human greeting. For anyone not looking at the screen right now, that means they shot me. With me not knowing how far I would have to go, I decided to conserve ammo and just power through it. That was a bad idea because the next hour of my life was now devoted to dying, respawning, and eating super stim packs. By the time I suffered into the actual bunker, the entire Legion was behind me with power fists and combat shotguns. A 94 sham would have been great for this part of the run, but I'm at the wrong kind of bunker for that. The defense system down here also hated me, but lucky for us, our 100 in science allowed us to hack a few terminals and shut the systems down. After that, it was just a matter of threading the needle and closing all the doors behind us. What you're watching now is every single death I had in the fort. This isn't even including the manual reloads when I knew survival wasn't an option. Starting now, the death counter is no longer accurate, so think of this number as a conservative estimate from here on out. We eventually found the right buttons to push and upgraded the remaining Securitrons. Now for the hard part, making it out alive. At this point, I had already eaten most of my food. Stim packs and super stim packs don't taste so bad when you use them to wash down gunfire. The medics in my system was working overdrive, and I used my last doctor's bag to make sure that if all else failed, my legs could still carry us out of here. I was tempted to take out their leader while I was here, water bottle at a concert style, but decided to let his brain tumor handle it for me. I was going to need all the ammo I could get for the final fight. Through sheer willpower, stubbornness, luck, and multiple chems, I made it back to the boat and swam to safety. At this point, I was starving, dehydrated, addicted to multiple chems, crippled everywhere from the waist up, and had absolutely no medical supplies to my name. So I went to the only human I could trust and had him patch me up. And after that, I went to all the vendors I could find and bought all the supplies I could for the final fight. The battle between the NCR and the Legion at the Hoover Dam will determine who takes control over New Vegas. And my plan was to swoop in with my upgraded robot army to take it all for myself. We let the humans do all the fighting amongst each other and made our way to the real target, Leggett Lanius. With 33 shots in the alien blaster left, fighting some human with a sword should be a piece of cake. Yeah, emphasis on should? Yeah, I did not expect this guy to be so tanky. He's only the final boss of the game after all. We probably could have killed him here, but we wouldn't have enough ammo to deal with his henchmen. So we had to load back and make some more preparations. This whole next chapter of the run sucked. Basically, I wanted to get a perk called Better Criticals that would make all my critical hits do 50% more damage. And since all my shots are critical hits, that would be a flat 50% damage boost for me. Even a human could do that math. I thought all I needed to do to get this perk was to level up one more time now that I had finally gotten my luck up to 6 with the intense training perks and met the requirement. But there were two issues with this I didn't think about. First off, you only get a perk every other level, so I'd need to level up twice. And the second issue that I just now noticed while editing, I would need to level up 4 times to hit the minimum level requirement. So my whole goal of leveling up 1 time was a complete waste of time, but I'll go over my struggles anyway. First off, we went back to Prim and made Prim slim the sheriff to secure some mission XP. We then picked all the safe locks in the storage room for a little bit more. After that, we decided to do the tutorial mission, but didn't want to waste ammo shooting a bottle and felt like punching them would have been against the rules, so skipped all that. So I just picked their locks and hacked their computers instead. I went to Novak and finally decided to sleep for the first time. While I was there, I also did this mission for Boone to get some extra XP. He was not a companion at any point during this mission, so this was still fair. My next set of jobs would be the most degrading yet. I tried to do the bodyguard job with the Van Graffs. They demanded my weapons at the door, and I begrudgingly let them handle it. but only because I needed this job, and at least these humans know how to use energy weapons. Simon was a little grumpy that I brought my own weapon to work, but oh well, he did all the violence for me. I just got to sit here for 7 minutes as humans awkwardly walked up to me in the slowest manner possible. I thought this was a pretty easy job, but it wasn't over yet. For part 2 of this mission, Gloria sent me on a delivery. This was a bit of a hassle because that horde of legionnaires from the bunker finally caught up to me and kept scaring the client away, and even after that I didn't get my experience. The mission still wasn't over. They wanted me to bring some human named Cass to them so they could murder her. They didn't even give me any coordinates or anything, but luckily I've played this game before so I knew exactly where she was. But still, there are 2 issues with this. First off, I wasn't persuasive enough to get her to follow me, and second, even if I was, she's a companion, and that just didn't feel right, even though she wouldn't be doing any combat. So this whole thing with the Van Graffs was just a total waste of time. If I had the ammo, I'd go back and slaughter them all. While I was here, I decided to talk to Ranger Ghost and do her mission where I check on Nipton. I thought I was going to have to go talk to some people there, but alas, Caesar's Legion still hates me. I thought this lottery ticket I stole from the annoying guy here earlier meant they would let me live. I guess that's what I get for trusting humans. Anyway, yet another waste of time. I was running out of ideas and decided to see if the king had any work. His dog was looking halfway upgraded and I offered to finish the job. Long story short, this was another issue where I would have a companion follow me. Yet again, another waste of time. These 3 failures led me to change up my plan. I couldn't trust completing missions, so I decided to hack my way to leveling up. And no, I don't mean cheating, I mean hacking all the computers I could find. Repcon HQ had 8 computers we could hack, and Camp Searchlight had a few too. The radiation levels here were quite high, and the lizards, ghouls, and scorpions all coming for my life didn't help either. The very last terminal here pushed me past the threshold, and we finally leveled up. Make this next part easier. No, I need another level up for a perk. Fuck. Yeah, like I said before, I totally forgot that you only get a perk every other level. So I decided screw it, we don't need better criticals. We'll just eat some Psycho and hope it works. So we had Doc Mercy Gosh, dude, the amount of times I've said Doc Mercy instead of Doc Mitchell is not surprising, but still a lot. Anyway, we had Doc Mitchell patch us up one last time and we set off to the final battle. Dodging bullets was a lot harder this time around since my armor was broken. Luckily, I took that checkered suit from Benny's corpse. Still not sure how that works because he was cremated in it. I don't think it actually helped me that much, but I took what I could get. We made it to the Legate's camp and started taking the bad guys out. I was really abusing the quick saves here because every shot counted. Dude, you can't make this shit up, dog. Somebody clip that, man. When we got to the Legate, I pooped all my chems. I'm pretty sure I meant to write popped all my chems, but that's what the script says, so we're going with it. Hit a sneak attack headshot, and quick saved after every successful headshot because, well, just watch. Oh, dude, everything in this game moves so goofy, and I hate how goofy everybody moves. After a bunch of that, I found a rock that bugged him and his henchmen out and used that to my advantage. Halfway through the fight, he goes full coward and leaves to get more backup. When he returned, he decided to throw a bunch of grenades at me. He doesn't really care how close you are to him or his men, so I tried to have him blow himself up a little bit. That plan worked out as well as one would expect. That means it didn't. After I finally managed to survive his bombardment, we went back to our spot to finish the Legate off. At this point, I was worried that I wasn't going to finish this fight. I had 12 shots left, and it takes 2 to kill one of these guys. And I counted more than 6 bad guys, so things were looking grim. But lucky for us, it turns out we only needed to take care of a few of these guys before we could move on and deal with the NCR leader, General Oliver. The final faction leader on my hit list was right in front of me. And with my final few rounds, I secured the dam for me and my robot army. So yeah, it looks like you can beat Fallout New Vegas with only the Alien Blaster. Well, that's gonna wrap up this video. I know this is the first non-Borderlands video on the channel, so your support is very much appreciated. And honestly, this was a lot of fun. So if you want more Fallout videos sprinkled in, make sure to let me know by liking the video and dropping a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. If you want to support the channel more directly, consider becoming a channel member to get videos a day early. checking out Instant Gaming's deals with my link, or check out gasmaskgang.com to get some merch. I'll have my Discord and Twitch channel where I stream these runs live linked down below. And last but not least, shout out to MangoSoda for making this video's thumbnail art. They do commissions and will also be linked down below. But until next time, breathe easy, homies.
It's like looking in the mirror. Wah, wah, wah. It's like looking in the mirror. Wah, wah, wah.